What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to HP Live. This is the #1 place on the internet for Pokemon news, rumors, leaks, and speculation. We got a bunch of fun stuff to talk about today related to the Pokemon Presents. We got some new credible rumors, again, having to do with the Presents, but in relation to Legends ZA, Generation 10, new Megas potentially. We also did a really great video last week detailing everything that we predict in the Pokemon Presents. That's coming out on July 22nd. And I think it's going to be fun to do later in the show to read some of your predictions. We also have a bingo card, and some of you have, some of our people from our community have submitted their own bingo cards. So I think it's going to be fun to talk about all this today. My name is DustyGogoat. I'm also joined by TraderLumi.
Hello.
And SoulSilverArt.
What's up?
I think we're having a pretty good Monday. I just got back from the grocery store. I got a little bit of a sniffle. But
in the middle of the summer.
In the middle of the summer.
I hear the flu's going around again.
I don't know if it's the flu.
This year.
I don't know if it's the flu.
I hope not.
But you might hear a little today, so I apologize for that. But listen, it is what it is.
Unforgivable.
Guys, where do you want to begin? Because a lot of stuff happened at the tail end of last week, and we kind of buttoned it all up. We just celebrated the 4th of July here on the East Coast of the United States. So we all took a little bit of a holiday, spent time with our family, but we're back now Monday morning. I don't know. Where do you guys want to start off? You guys want to talk about maybe the new Megas that could potentially be in the Pokemon Presents? Do you want to talk about Chicken Chan? What do you guys feeling?
Chicken Chan.
What are you guys feeling?
Maybe we should start with Chicken
anything.
Chan.
Maybe we should start with Chicken Chan.
Since you got such a kick out of it, Dusty.
Oh, it's so good. It kind of made me nostalgic for Sun and Moon. That was a fun era. Let me see if I can pull up the post right here on the Hidden Power Podcast Twitter page.
Yeah, finding it. It's there. You can always search as well on our Twitter. You can
I think
you're too far back.
You're way past it.
Too far back?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, way past it.
Yeah,
Lumi,
it would have been last week.
Lumi, do you want to give us the breakdown?
So I believe, so correct me if I'm wrong, this came from Centro Leaks.
Yeah.
Who kind of
you got to take that already with a big grain of salt there.
Yeah, Centro, he's in the past he's mainly been a leaks reporter, right? He's kind of honestly he's new when it comes to actually leaking. Unless it's like from a data mine. Like that's really where any reliability from him has come from in the past, was like getting into like a home server. Like I remember he did it with like Crown Tundra and got it. But this is, according to him, a leak. He said Gen 7, Chicken Chan. Gen 10, Jellyfish Chan. Interpret this as you will, but I would say it's very likely a reference to the Gen 7 female protagonist. I forget her name, but Celine? I guess Moon. Celine and Moon, yeah, whatever you want to call her. She has this hat that has, like funny little frills on it. And so like a nickname was like, Chicken Chan, because she looks like a little chicken, because it's like got the rooster mohawk, right?
I love it.
So I guess...
I love it. And so Jellyfish Chan, what are we expecting? Jellyfish Chan is what? It's gonna be one of the character has a hat. Maybe like Ethan from the Hoenn games, right? With that like long beanie. But like one of the characters is gonna have do y'all remember that movie? Is it called? It's called like either Fish Tales or Shark Tales or something. It's like a DreamWorks movie. Sure.
And they're like these Rastafarian jellyfish.
Yeah.
That is instantly like where my head went.
Actually. Yeah.
Like they sing Bob Marley in it and everything. It's great. That's like where my head went.
What's it called?
So I was
Sharks?
thinking like that type of hairstyle. It might be Shark Tales.
Shark Tale.
Shark Tale. That's it. And there's like these jellyfish in the movie. And they do
Oh, I could see
do it. like it's like supposed to resemble, like I forget what that's called, but the hat, the colorful hat, and then,
I see it.
Of course the
so
I forget what you call that hairstyle, but
the dreadlocks. Yeah, it could.
Dreadlocks. Really, there you go.
That's crazy. Just like a giant beanie. Anyways, listen, this is a good place to start, because I think this is super inconsequential, and this is one of those quote unquote rumors where I'm like, you can say anything. It doesn't mean anything. Even if it's true, it doesn't mean anything.
It's interesting just because, like, the main thing is like, what does Centro know? Because like Lumi said, the guy or the group of them, because there's like more than one. They like, what do they actually know, and like where are they getting this information from? Like, I'm assuming it's all Terra Leak stuff because that's what has happened this year with the Terra Leak. So like, this is just some like leftover information from the Terra Leak that no one ever got out because the main guy, the main hacker, was like, I don't want to leak stuff about Gen 10, but then he did to like his friends or something, and now here we are. So somehow Centro got this information that nobody really else has ever said. I haven't heard any of this, and so it's like, I don't know. So it is interesting in that respect. It is also interesting if it's true, which is, if it has. She has a hat, I guess. I mean, all the protagonists have hats, right? So,
for what it's worth, and obviously, guys, like, spoiler warning, because like we're gonna go into like Legends EA stuff, especially on
the present stuff. The present stuff.
But one thing that I will say in credit to Centro, and this again seemed to be sourced from the Terra Leak, is that Centro was the first person to break the news publicly on Mega Dragonite when everyone was like racing to leak the megas, like back when like the dam broke, so to speak, and the water came rushing in, and people were going. You had like the journalist Felipe was like, oh, Mega. I think he said like Starmie is what I heard, and then of course Ku's like Mega Excadrill, and Centro was like Mega Dragonite. And that did end up being true. So it seems like he did get access to some Terra Leak information. But I do think ultimately, like, Dusty, you hit it on the head. Like, okay, so the female protagonist has a hat or hair or something that resembles
Big
a
whoop!
jellyfish.
Also, it's like, it could just be a blind prediction.
Right? Can we stop the episode here? Right? Like that's all we need to know about Gen 10. Right? We can wrap up Hidden Powers, stop the show because we know that the female protagonist is like a jellyfish.
The main protagonist wears a hat. Oh my god!
Right?
Someone in the chat. Someone in the chat mentioned that it could be maybe like Lily shows up because she has this giant sun hat. And
that's a fun interpretation of it.
Yeah, right. Or even Lusamine, right? Maybe if we actually want to look at this post as if it is a riddle, right? You could interpret it as far as saying, maybe it's a reference to not Lily, but instead Lusamine, her mother, who fuses with the Ultra Beast Nihilego, who has this like fusion form, and maybe I don't know. I'm going off the deep end, but maybe it's a suggestion
it is fun to speculate
that
on it,
fusions might be in Generation 10.
my
point is this is not enough information to be significant on its own.
No.
So
that's the thing. Like no matter what way you tackle this, it's not like a giant reveal. Like if he was like Gen 7 cat, owl, seal, Gen 10 jellyfish, like then it's like we're getting a jellyfish starter, like then it's a big news. But
I mean it does like for speculation only, because it's really pure speculation. You guys are totally right. But in my mind when I think about it, I'm like, if she's like looks kind of like a jellyfish, then it like feels like marine like theming, and like marine, maybe we get a jellyfish starter or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it just instantly your mind starts going like, oh,
and that's the fun part. That's definitely the fun part.
But
it's also a jellyfish shirt, by the way. It doesn't have to be that, right? Because it could just be
she might have a tentacle on her shirt.
Yeah, it might. Just a whole jellyfish. So who knows?
New jellyfish mon.
Which, if there was a new jellyfish Pokemon, it could be on her shirt. So instantly you're like,
the question would be like, assuming this post is accurate,
is real,
and Centro has information, what information does he have? So that's
fun fact. We've gotten Pokemon leaked by clothing before, because like you had, of course, the the NPCs in Paldea had like a Tauros on their shirt. That obviously ended up being Paldean Tauros, but there's not a big difference, so you couldn't really tell. I think the horns were bigger. That was it. But then in Sun and Moon, when they were showing off customization, there was a shirt shown that had Toucannon on it, and I
think Greedent as well was shown.
Yeah, you're right.
Galar's promotional stuff,
and like the Bolton logo.
Yeah, the Bolton logo for sure. At the same time, we have Clara with like the Dustox hair thing, and
Yeah, we're nothing.
And what's her name? Iona with the Magnemite thing, and you're like, these should be forms, but they never
Seriously,
end up being anything.
yeah,
So,
yeah, that's a good point.
So
I was convinced that was gonna be real. That would have been awesome to have those like new Magnemite forms.
Last thing, I don't like the Chicken Chan. Like, I don't see it anyway. So like, if we're comparing it, it's not really. I don't know. I'd never heard of this before. That she has like a chicken hat. I kind of see it a little bit, of it. But it's like. It looks like a flower more to me, and I think that's what they were going for with it, like a flower on top of her head.
I think the flat 2D render, you just see. Oh, and we just got this is weird to me. Hold on, we just got a super chat. Is this a super chat by Connor? Is this on YouTube or is it on? YouTube. Oh, it is on YouTube. Okay, sorry, I'm getting.
I think it has the symbol next to it when you're on the thing. Like there's on what you're seeing, Dusty. It says it's the YouTube symbol, Connor.
All right, good. I wasn't sure if it was on Twitch or on YouTube, so we're getting because we are live. We're like also streaming to Twitch right now. But anyways, Connor, thank you for the donation. Connor says just about to go for a run. Thanks for keeping me company, lads. Appreciate it, man. Listen, you can. I listen to podcasts when I go for a run. You could listen to us when you go for a run, but maybe you're working out a lot harder than us. Then me,
you know what?
And you need something with more energy.
Thank you for taking us on your run, Connor, because now I can say like, oh, I went for a run.
Yeah, today. I went for a run today. My voice. So I think going back to this, I think the interpretation is you got the flat 2D render of this character and the hat. If you just look at the 3 to 4 little red bumps, that looks like the thing that's on top of a chicken's head.
Okay.
I think the 3D model of it, it looks more like a flower, and it's probably supposed to look like that. Or just like...
Yeah, I see the vision, but it kind of shows what we're talking about, too, where, like, does it look like a jellyfish, or does it have, like, one thing that if you really want to and you squint really hard and you have a good imagination, you can go, kind of looks like a jellyfish,
Listen, it's fun. It's fun. It made me chuckle when I saw it because the Chicken Chan brought me back to what was that 2017 or whatever.
We need a Chicken Chan shirt on our merch store.
Yeah,
Chicken Chan.
That's actually kind of fun.
Chicken Chan.
Jellyfish Chan.
But yeah, we can definitely move. Oh, I'm getting all confused now. Was there another super chat by Connor? Did he super chat earlier?
I missed it if he did. I don't believe so. I'm scrolling up and I'm not seeing it.
All right, guys. Sorry, I'm sick. My brain's a little mushy today. All right. We also got another post by Riddler Coup, and this one was a little bit more traditional of a post, right? Very obviously meant to tease at something. So Riddler Coup on July 3rd posted a new riddle that shows off a hint, right, for a new Mega Evolution for ZA that might be revealed in the July 22nd Pokemon Presents. That was his whole post. And this is the image that accompanied it right here. I'll describe it for listeners just to kind of set us up before we start breaking it down, because I know Soul's got a lot of analysis for this. But we got Professor Oak's lab in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. You got the 3 starters. The Pokedexes are up there, and it's you, the protagonist, talking to your rival. And the rival's name in this is Green. And he just says "Yo, Green, yo." That's just like text from the game. You also have a screenshot from, I think it's either the anime or the movie where Giovanni.
It's the movie.
Is it the movie? I know there's a couple anime episodes with the Mewtwo, but it's Giovanni with a Persian in a lab looking at this Mewtwo that's got all the armor on it. It's like wired up to the technology, to the computers. And then you got, Soul, help me out here, a Digimon that looks like it's got 6 wings. It's got and I think I know what this is. It's got describe this Digimon. It's a man. It's literally a man.
It's an angel. It's an angel.
What is this, Angelmon?
It's Angemon, but because the way they make them, they don't put. Sometimes they do. They make the names like so obvious, or it's just Angelmon, but they wanted to be a little less obvious, and they took the L away.
So it's an angel. It's Angemon, and it looks like. I just said not what you just said. So okay.
No, you did. You said it right. Okay. Yeah, so it's an angel with 6 wings, which there are angels with 6 wings out there in the universe. I don't know. So
what's the breakdown? Yeah, so we got these 3 images. Where are we starting with this? If we got to break this down, Soul, Where are we
That's a
starting
good
with this?
question. I mean, it's very interesting in general because there's just a lot of questions more than answers. The Angemon could be related to Dragonite, is what most people are thinking.
Yeah, that's where my brain went.
Yeah, because we've heard from the leaked descriptions of the megas that Mega Dragonite has like more wings on its body.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't remember exactly the description, but it said something like that, right? So that's like instantly you're like, okay, that guy's got wings. What other megas have wings like that?
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying Clefable as well, but I don't know.
Clefable's supposed to get a flying
Sure,
type,
because
so
it's like an angel too, really. Like, you know, it's a pixie.
Yeah, no, I see
kinda.
that. I see that. I see that. It's a fairy type.
Some people were saying Starmie as well, but I was like, I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
I'm
that
not
might be a
seeing the
stretch.
connection other than like going Gym 1. I think though you can tie this to the other things too, because you have, of course, the picture of Giovanni with Mewtwo. That is, you know, the first Pokemon movie, and one like kind of iconic things from that movie was the Courier Dragonite, and then the green. You could say maybe that's a tease at like the shiny, because Dragonite's shiny is green.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay, so
See, Lumi's breaking it down well. There you go.
well. Here's the question, because my brain thought each one of these was there's 3 images in this collage. My brain said this is 3 different Pokemon, but Lumi's suggesting that these 3
It's all a hint to one.
are the hint for a single Pokemon that's going to be revealed.
Because I
in
think
the
do you
Pokemon
have
Presents trailer.
do you have the actual tweet that like because I think he said new Mega, which like, you know, that's if you want to read into it singular. Now English isn't his first language, so maybe it's not, you know, maybe he meant new megas, you know, I don't know, maybe forgot to put this new mega. See, that's like a singular
Context.
reference.
Yeah.
It's really why this is so huge, actually, is because he says soon this new mega. So it's like this is a leak for the presents in my mind, and it is one new mega.
I think so.
So it's like the first thing I said was like, if it's one new mega, like, is that all we're gonna get shown, or is that all just that he knows? You know what I mean? Because I will be so upset if it's just one new mega. But that's like where my mind went. After that, I also agree with you, Dusty. These feel like 3 separate things, but at the same time, they also all connect. So it's like we don't really know. Like the green one could be green because of Zygarde too. Like it's Legends EA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Legends EA, then the first movie, like Lumi said, and then Angemon, which is kind of like Dragonite, apparently.
Also, I do have, just to read it because we kind of mentioned it, the description that was given for Mega Dragonite that's come from Pokémon. Mega Dragonite features 2 large angelic wings, so you see a specific reference, angelic wings, which kind of ties into the Angemon a bit more, emerging from its head, replacing its original antennae. There's a blue orb positioned near the tip of its tail, additional angel-like wings positioned above the arms, and a pair of extra angel wings attached to its heels, reminiscent of the Hermes boots. And that's the description. So, you know, that's also 6 wings. 6 wings, you know.
6 wings.
Which, like, if real, guys.
So,
you know.
if this... So, I'm wondering now if this... I always hate to do this, but like the first thing that comes to mind is Dragonite, right? Because of the 6 wings. But I also wonder if Ku is also not totally sure and trying to misdirect in case Dragonite isn't revealed, because that happens sometimes.
I mean, not only that,
and then I'm like,
he has a habit of intentionally setting up a riddle so that he wants you to think this way when he's actually going this way with it. Like he did that a lot with the Scarlet and Violet riddles that he had leading up to it.
So like, I'm trying to think of like how else can we interpret this, because I'm also kind of looking at this and like the Mewtwo, it's, I don't know, like on the surface it's purple, it's got all these different things sticking off of itself. I don't know, it's wearing something. You could say it's Scrafty, you could say it's Dragalge, like I don't know, like Electros. Electros makes no sense to us. We don't know what that's going to look like. Could this be Electros? I have no idea.
Also, I mean, we didn't mention that there's like the Hypno pendants in that image, and like, why are they there? Like,
oh my god, yeah, that's a really good point.
Wait, which one?
I didn't even see those.
the pendants are in the image right there. Those are not part of the image.
There's like a hip
not even
nose.
notice those until you said something.
I didn't notice them either.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So is that just a misdirect? You know?
Yeah, I will say this also. We have to be fair with Ku and Centro. I'm not saying that they're on the same level, but Ku last year all year was like, this is coming in a trailer, and the trailers never came, and the info from those trailers that he was talking about never happened. So
yeah,
this
like
is
starters
also
before the end of the year. We didn't get starters for Pokemon Day.
We never got the starters. So there's things like that, and so it's possible that he does get information, because I trust him personally, but you know that his track record is not helping his case. Yeah. So for people that are skeptical, I definitely can sympathize. So it could be that none of this ends up happening, or that this is information that he has that won't end up being shown, but is still real information. Either way, I just want to put that out there and make sure that people know that, you know, who knows what this actually is. It could be information that he heard and that we won't even get an answer for. But to me, like we were saying, I think these might be 3 separate Pokemon. I know that he said one. He said one, but maybe just one of them is the one getting revealed. You know what I mean?
Sure.
If that's the case, I would say the Mewtwo image could be a really good Malamar hint, just because you've got the Hypno Pendulums. Malamar's known to like be able to hypnotize and mind control. It also, you've got like the armor on Mewtwo, right? That makes me think of how like Xerosic was controlling Emma with this armor, and that's now her ace is Malamar. Yeah. And that was Xerosic's ace. That was past her. So that could really work into it, I think.
Sure. I agree. I agree with you. That makes sense.
We got a super chat here from Tony Dex. Thank you, man, for your support. They say, these hints only lead to one thing. Mega Veluza is coming to ZA. And I gotta say, I'm so happy about that. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Vaultin Veluza. I'd be really happy for that.
That's awesome. And we got another super chat just while we're on the topic. Aditya has super chatted us, and they say, I have enjoyed the last few Pokemon Presents more because of you guys. Looking forward to the 22nd of July. I don't know if it's possible or not, but I want more Pokemon Snap. That's awesome, man. Dude,
Lumi does too.
Really, really appreciate those kind words. We're happy to do this with you guys. And we will be...
Dude, I'm with you too.
We will be streaming the Pokemon Presents on July 22nd. That's going to be so much fun to stream that. But yeah, thank you for your support. Thanks for being here. Pokemon Snap would be kind of cool if we get another one.
Dude, I'm just saying all these games getting a Switch 2 edition. Let me Pokemon Presents, they announce. New Pokemon Snap, Switch 2 edition. You know, you get more levels. I don't know, something.
Yeah. This Lumi's dream.
And shout out to you guys watching. We almost have 300 people watching live right now. This is incredible.
Nice.
So glad you guys are all here with us on a Monday morning. So how are you guys feeling? Like, I mean, what megas do you think? I know we talked about this a little bit, but have you thought any further about like what megas could be revealed during the Pokemon Presents?
Well, I think you should, if we look back at this image as well, if it's one of these, if there are 3 different Pokemon, I also want to say that the Angemon could be Clefable as well, just because Clefable also has like 3 prongs on its wings.
Yeah.
If you look at Clefable, it has 2 wings, but it has 3 like points on each one. It's very similar.
I can see Skarmory as well.
Oh damn.
Yeah, possibly.
The armor with Mewtwo, and then his wings kind of have separate points almost. It's almost like he has multiple wings, and then the green, that could maybe be a reference to the shiny, if we're making that same argument for Dragonite, which I think that would work for Clefable too. I think it has green on it and it's shiny.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
It does. That's so sick. We're getting new Clefable art. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, but you see how Clefable's wings look? They look just almost like that.
Yeah. We're getting a new Clefable form. That's like insane to me. Like I
hope it's cool.
I'm actually really excited about this one. Like,
I mean, it's gonna be cute no matter what, right? It's gonna be cute because we need some cute stuff.
We need some cute stuff. I like the cute stuff.
But then it leaves me with what the green part is at the top. So if these are all separate, then what is green?
I think the shiny Dragonite, that does make sense.
You do have the starters there.
Yeah,
that's the starters on the table.
Oh, that's a good one. I was thinking like
starters.
Yeah, I was thinking like, why is it
why
cut off?
Yeah, but what? No, like the room is green, but also why is? And you could just say it's the default name. Green is the default name of the rival, but that could be anything. That could.
It also could all be like a misdirect, right? It's green, like the imagery is green, the character's name is green, so like he's like wanting you to think, because Ku does this with his riddles. He wants you to think green. Well, what does green mean? But the obvious thing is like the starters are sitting on the table.
Yeah,
that's true.
To be clear, I don't think it would be the ZA starters. I would think it'd be the Kalos starters.
Which is definitely, yeah.
Maybe it is the Z. Imagine, dude. Imagine if this trailer, they freaking revealed the ZA
I think because he says
that
it's one mega, I think they wouldn't do the 3.
Right.
Important to say, we didn't even say this. So like, Ku did say in his post, soon this new mega. But then he said, I love the kissy face. When Ku launches off a kissy face, I'm a supporter.
Dusty feels it. Feels it. He feels love.
A new app. Wink.
Anyway, maybe it's Zygarde. Maybe it's another. What other green Pokemon are getting megas?
Obviously, like I said, the stars. Victory Bell.
Victory Bell is a good. Green.
Victory Bell is big.
Halucha, I believe, is classified as green in the Pokedex. Even though it's
I was gonna say Grandpa.
Really...
I was gonna say Grandpa, but Grandpa.
Frisco.
My Grandpa. My Grandpa's not green.
Frisco in the chat says, "What if it's the Gen 10 starters?"
That's intense.
I don't think it is because it literally says this new mega. But
if he hadn't said mega, then I would be like, maybe.
Let's entertain it. But fun idea.
I did just look it up. Halucha. While I don't necessarily look at him and think green. His Pokedex color is green.
Yeah, he's
like that is what he's classified as.
Halucha.
In the Pokedex. Yeah,
he's got some green. He's got some big green.
He's got green on his face, and then he's got the green under feathers. But I definitely don't look at him and think green immediately. And then of course Zygarde, Drampa, Chestnut, Victory Bell, Meganium, and that's really it.
That's a lot of them though, just to like go off of green. So there's probably more in that image that we're not seeing, unless it's just Zygarde. Which, if you put like 3 random megas here and like choose one of these to be revealed in the presents, then you're like, okay, which one? Malamar. Or Dragonite is not going to be Zygarde. Maybe it would be Zygarde.
We got some...
also, too, some of them, while the Pokemon might not be green, it might get green when it Mega Evolves. So it's like... It's kind of like a hint to what the Mega looks like, right? Because if Angemon is a hint to getting multiple wings or whatever, then...
True.
We got some activity in the chat, guys. D Sampy's been a legendary member for 11 months, buddy. You're almost at that big 1 year anniversary.
He's actually been here a lot longer.
He's been here longer. Yeah.
It's gonna be nice to see that 12 months. He goes, I predicted TCGP, TCG Pocket trailer for the next major set. Think it will be Kalos based, like real TCG. Possible megas coming to Pocket. Find out next time. That could be kind of cool. I like that.
I could totally see that.
I could totally see that.
It is weird that they're gonna put megas in the normal TCG. I don't know. Maybe they want to like let that play out a little bit longer before adding them to Pocket. I could see Pocket next year getting megas, but who knows?
Sure, it's like, do they want to do it after or before the TCG?
They got to make.
I could see like we want it to come out for the main TCG first, because that is like their primary focus for cards. It's like the main TCG.
Yes, but TCG Pocket makes a lot of money, and if they can relate that directly to the brand new game that's coming out, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
because as much as we want to think TCG Pocket is a gateway, to the main TCG, which I think it is, it can be.
I think it is.
I do think it also just has its own ecosystem.
Yes,
TCG Pocket. Does. I've picked it up. I've played it all year. I'm not buying any more cards. I'm actually buying less cards.
It's TCG for those of us who have realized that perhaps our bank accounts can no longer support our love for Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Until we have a weak moment and we say, I need more. What are they called? Dream shards or packs? Points. Points. Brandon Best hit us with a $5. Thank you for the donation, man. He says, I predict if a Mega is shown in the presents, it'll be Mega Dragalge or Dragonite. Also, when is the next call-in show? Yeah, we were just talking about this, actually. If we could pull the curtain back a little bit and have this conversation live, I think we discussed having a new call-in show. Actually, and I'm sorry, Soul, I think this was with Lumi on a random call.
I'm glad to know. I'm glad to find out.
I think Soul gets to react too.
Nothing's set in stone, but I think we're planning to do it in like a week or two.
It would be 1 week. It wouldn't be 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the presents.
Yeah, it'll be. So we'll do
next week. Yeah.
We'll do a predictions call-in show. I think the Tuesday before the presents, and then we'll publish that episode on the Thursday before the presents, and then I think, depending on what gets revealed, like assuming we got a lot of new juicy info, we'll do another one afterwards. So that'll
the presents is like just a new concierge trailer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one after. Yeah. There'll be nothing to talk about.
Oh boy.
But yeah, that could be. Yeah, honestly, we should make that decision, and then and then we can start promoting that. But good. Yeah, we do want to start doing that. So Brandon, what had happened is like everything was leaked. So we're like, there's no more speculation to be had. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what happened with those.
That and like we were having to cover the leak so much, like we didn't have the time to like coordinate, you know, because like every 5 minutes we're like, oh, we can probably do, and then it's like 7 more megas just dropped, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's coming soon. We appreciate the support. P1 Polyrath has been a legendary tier member for 7 months. Thank you, man. They say Polyrath's shiny is green. Just saying. LOL.
Yeah, he's still.
I can see it.
I think we solved it.
Generation 1. Polyrath is a part of a 3-stage evolutionary line, and there's 3 Pokeballs, right? It's part of a split evolution. Yeah, it's part of a split evolution. So that's 2 different possible evolutions for Poliwhirl, and there's 2 Pokedexes in Professor Oak's lab.
Yep.
Right? And then it's kind of like a circle, like a spiral, like the spiral of a Poliwrath belly. I don't know. There's a lot of connections here. There's a lot of connections.
Oh yeah, there's too many. I think we've cracked it. I think it's definitely Poliwrath.
Johan's been a member for 6 months. Thank you so much. They say Kanto starters, Mega Z forms would be crazy. And I gotta be honest with you, I almost want all of these new Megas to just be called, like, you know, Mega Chestnut Z. Because then there's an implication that there could be an X or a Y or a base. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be really fun.
I just think there's hidden lore. If they ever wanted to make, like, hypothetically, they give us Mega Chestnut, and then, you know, a few years from now they want to give us another Mega Chestnut, you hypothetically could then, like, they just explain in universe that, like, oh, we've now discovered another Mega Chestnut, so we've actually renamed that first Mega Chestnut you saw as Mega Chestnut X, and this new one we're calling Mega Chestnut Y.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
I don't know how crazy the Mega Kalos starters will be, though. For me, based on descriptions, I'm like,
I'm looking forward to them. I think
honestly, based on descriptions, I think Delphox sounds best.
Delphox sounds great. Free Metroid hat. Let's get to free Metroid hat. Thank you, man, for the $10 super chat. They say, give me Mega Polytoad and Mega Poliwrath, Nintendo. I need it. I think the whole
Polytoad train.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Mazar says Perish Trap Mega Polytoad would make Wolfie unbeatable. Oh, dude, that'd be so sick. That'd be so sick. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh, man.
They say, or we got Lethal Randy with the $10. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really, I appreciate all of these donations. Every little bit helps.
So much, man.
Could we see the DLC in Legends ZA being South Kalos, provided there is DLC? Chat, if you aren't already, become a member. Oh, nice. Okay. Chat, if you aren't already, become a member, support HPP, and join the Discord. Content is mint as well. Appreciate HPP. Hidden Power Podcast. Thank you so much, Randy. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the shout out.
Yeah, that's awesome. It is true. Links are in the description if you want to join. $5 on Patreon or $5 on YouTube, whatever your preference is. It's the same exact amount, same amount of perks. You get at least, we've been doing like 1 to 2 bonus podcasts a month. I think the goal is to start ramping that up, so it's 1 additional podcast a week. That's like our goal. But you also get access to the Discord, where that's where everyone is always hanging out. We've got battle leagues. We can do movie nights. There's so much fun stuff in there. The live call-in show, you can literally call in and be on a podcast. We're ramping those up. So that's a perk. You get 10% discount on merch. We're running a summer sale right now. I don't know. I could keep yapping. But thank you, Randy. what would you guys answer to this? Could we see the DLC in Legends EA being South Kalos, provided that there is DLC? What do you guys think?
I think that's possible. Why not?
I want it to be the case. I want it. I don't know. I'm kind of expecting a small scale DLC for this game, similar to Legends Arceus. Because I mean, if you look at the timeline here, this game's dropping in October, probably November of next year.
Yeah.
We'll see the release of Gen 10. And so much of next year is going to be dedicated to Gen 10. I just don't see a giant DLC releasing for this game. I kind of think, like, in terms of scope, the best case scenario, like what I'm thinking is best case scenario, is that we get one that's like the size of one of the mainline DLCs. You know what I mean? So it's not Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, but it's like Isle of Armor size.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
I agree. Could it be in South Kalos, though? I feel it's unlikely. It would be awesome. It's possible.
I would love it.
That was the dream.
It's possible. It's still possible, but the problem is the whole game is in Lumios, so it feels like they would probably keep it in Lumios still.
Only like hope is like you could
jump on
there's
a
train station. You could not even that. There's a train that runs to South Kalos.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe they do like one town in South Kalos, like you just go to one town from a train.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Because they would keep like the same assets of ZA, you know, like of Lumio City, and they just put them in like
another city, maybe the buildings.
Name it a city, like a different
windows.
city.
Sure.
Yes, exactly.
If anything, though, I'd want us, if they're gonna send us to another city, I'd want to go to Anastar. You know, see the sundial and all. Like it's so.
That would make the most sense.
And it's coastal, right? Maybe they have some.
Well, Anastar's actually in the mountains. There's Shalor is coastal.
Shalor is what I was thinking.
I don't know if that's what you were thinking. That'd been a great one too, for the record.
With the moon dial.
Just did up. Actually.
Well, actually,
I gotta finish. I played more of my Gen 5 playthrough, Black 2 game. I was playing more of that. I got a Tangrowth. I got a pretty cool team. Anyways,
Tangrowth is fun.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, my vision for like future games is like, I don't want to be limited to main series remake. I'm like Legends ZA just in Lumio City, but now they have the freedom to give us another random game. Like, what if the Pokemon Works game, whatever game that is that they're working on, whatever. Like, maybe it's not just a faithful remake. What if it literally is just like a new type of game, you know, that actually introduces a new location or has us seeing old locations in a new engine. So
that's what I think. I want that. Is that weird that I think I want that, like, more than like new locations in a region? Like, I would have preferred, rather than Blueberry Academy and them going, here's a new place and it's set in the Unova region, I would have preferred them be like, boom, here's Castelia City, but it's in the 3D engine, you know?
Or it's like, here is Humalao City, right? It's coastal. Sure. Or here's the nature preserve. Literally anything.
Right.
Because what it does is now you can imagine, you're like, okay, this universe exists in this 3D space. You know? So that's super cool.
Yeah.
You guys are being so generous, so let's just work our way through these comments. Nicholas Taylor has been a mythical tier member for 10 months. Wow. So generous.
Formerly NMT Arts, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Okay.
You're right,
there it is. There it is. And I'm always government naming people. Sorry.
They got that channel profile that always makes me feel cozy.
Yeah, dude. We got the lo-fi hip hop on. I'm just going there. Be at least a couple of new mons. I'm just hoping there's going to be a couple new mons and on top of the new megas. Listen, that's a hope. I hope there's some new Pokemon. And not just megas, but my hopes have been dropped.
Know.
My hopes have been dropped.
You never know, though.
Well, and I
Maybe
mean,
a
for
new
what
mythical
it's worth too, especially like DLC, like absolutely, why couldn't they revolve that around new mythical?
Yeah.
You know, or a new legendary or whatever, you know?
The idea of DLC gives me hope of everything. Like, once DLC's back on the table, you're like, everything's back on the table. But yeah.
Who
knows? Even in the main game.
And I was going to say, like, maybe we don't get Southern Kalos in Legends EA because I feel like they just want to move on. But who's to say in the Gen 10 game, if it is Mediterranean and there is it's an island hopping adventure, that you can't island hop to South Kalos? You know?
Man, that'd be such a cool way to, like, kind of connect it to ZA, you know, in, like, the same way that, like, Scarlet and Violet had, like, little nods to Legends Arceus, especially over in Kitakami.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm still convinced that Scarlet and Violet was meant to be connected to Kalos with that whole area that was unused.
You're
stop.
I was just playing Scarlet and Violet, and I started hitting my head against the table. I was like, it really was right in front of us this whole time.
It was.
I'm saying that I think there was something there at some point, but they cut it due to all of the restraints that we saw, all of the things that we saw. We know that there was cut stuff.
That was the DLC, maybe?
We saw even the DLC was very, like, cut up and not fully fleshed out.
Especially because, like, if you look at Kitakami's map, you know that there's land surrounding Kitakami, but as far as I remember, it's not, like, grayed out on the map. But with Scarlet and Violet, they took that north, what would that be, east area, and they, like, grayed it out on the map. And you've got Area 0 also grayed out, but I'm able to go there, you know? And then, like, there's things like
Equally
Sierra
Dawn,
who, you know, is a VGC player and caster. She got to play Indigo Disc early. And she straight up asked the reviewer, like, are we going to get to see the grayed out northeast part of the Paldea map? And he said, the reviewer told her, like, I'm not allowed to answer that.
Well,
and it's like
they're not allowed to answer anything, but sure.
Not allowed to say,
I
no,
can dream.
you can't do that, you know?
They could have said no.
Gassy
Watchhog, shout out to you. They've been a box legendary tier member for 6 months.
Let's go.
They say Scrafty Shiny is green as well, and both Mewtwo and Angemom have helmets and hoods, kind of like Mega Scrafty in the leaks. Kind of a stretch, but wanted to throw it out there. Bro, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I like it.
I'm with you.
The shiny thing, I think, is more of a stretch. The other stuff, maybe. They have hoods.
Can I make a stretch? Can I make a stretch?
Yes. Do it.
Can you
stretch?
Do a stretch?
Listen.
Do it while stretching, though.
When I was younger and I had baggy pants, like a Scrafty, I said yo quite a bit.
I still say
why else would yo be there? What Pokemon is gonna say yo? Starmie does say hiya, but I could see a Scrafty being like yo.
That's not a bad shout out, man.
That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's not much of a stretch because it's just yo. And I mean, from the other, I was comparing this image to the other riddle image that he made. And one of them was the freaking Hawktua girl. So, I mean, this is
true.
These are modern pop culture references sometimes. So, yo could be Scrafty.
Gassy Watchhog.
Go.
Good looks. That was pretty good. Tony Dex has been a legendary tier member for 5 months. They say, I need Mega Hexorus, and you know what? Slap on the bug type on it.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Right.
I can see it.
I'm here for it.
I can kind of see it.
I think it gets some bug moves I know it gets extra, but I think it also gets like first impression from like egg moves.
Yeah,
and that's kind of, they say like that's a good way to like kind of look at perhaps what's being intended in a design is by checking out like egg moves and of course like the egg that they're in.
Yeah.
Because it's like showing like latent stuff there, I guess.
I can see that.
That's where like a lot of like water-based Pokemon that aren't water type are getting water moves. But yeah, it gets first impression from egg moves. So I mean,
I see that.
Why not?
That'd be incredible.
Sky King, wow, $10. Thank you so much, Sky King.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Possibility of a Mega Dragalge in Mega Drampa. Does this imply something for Clawitzer and Turtonator? Like how Beedrill got a Mega and Butterfree got a Gigantamax?
I gotta push back on that because like Glalie got a Mega and Frozlass is only getting a Mega now.
Yeah.
You know, like
I think
12 years later, 11 years later.
I think you're misunderstanding Sky King here, though. I don't think that they mean that those are gonna get Megas. I think they mean that in the future, Clawitzer or Turtonator could get like a new gimmick. I was gonna say mechanic. Because it's like how Beedrill got a Mega and then Butterfree got a Gigantic later on. You know?
Yeah, I see what it means. I don't think it's necessarily like a rule. Like, I don't think they gave Butterfree a Gmax because they had given Beedrill a Mega.
I mean, we do. You're saying that, but we do see now we're getting a Frostlass Mega like years later after Laylee got one, and
That's
we're
true.
getting. We also. What else? There's another one like Gardevoir and Gallade.
Slowpoke.
Gardevoir and Gallade for sure.
Slowking never got a Mega.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You still have some examples where it's like not the case though, right? Like Slowking doesn't have it. There's the fact that, you know, we're still waiting for our Blastoise and Venusaur Y, you know. I mean,
those were the Gigantamaxes, didn't you know?
Yeah. Well, Charizard got Gigantamax too, so that's what I'm saying is like sometimes they're not, you know, balanced like that.
You would
hilarious
think
is like the amount of Mega like beta art that those Pokemon got, Venusaur and Blastoise.
Sure.
Like, that there would be another form. There were so many. It's like 1,000 Venusaurs. So
especially because like Blastoise, a lot of them seem to like bring back the fluff.
Yeah.
And then like from Wartortle, and then they like completely scrapped that when they actually made its Mega. So it's like you'd think that they would go, you know what, guys, like let's make this Mega Blastoise we have, but let's also do one where we're emphasizing the like fluff from Wartortle.
Yeah. Hayes has been a legendary tier member for 19 months, which is more months than I can even count in my mind. That's crazy. Thank you, Hayes, for all your support. Yeah, there's a lot of different units of measurement you could use for that. Yeah.
Lumi always does that one.
Not big on Coup, but guessing Rocket Mewtwo, maybe Dark and Psychic, Green Malamar Shiny, possible Mega Color, and Angemon may be a fairy type, and that's a new Mega type. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think between this, like, I think Lumi cracked that one because they are both villains, aren't they, in that image? And Malamar's kind of a villain. I don't know. I could see it being Malamar, and the Dark Psychic makes sense with that.
The hypnosis thing too, man, is like when you point out those pendulums, I was like, I don't know how to connect that to Dragonite, and they're put into this image, so they've got to be purposeful.
I agree.
Sheesh. We got NNT Arts with the $5. Thank you so much, Nicholas Taylor. South Kalos would open the door for new Pokemon in forms. Absolutely.
True.
Literally, yes.
What
I've been saying is if we go back to Kanto, we could get new Cantonian forms for any other Pokemon that has existed outside of Kanto. That's what I want to see the most.
Dude, imagine South Kalos, because like hypothetically that would be the region that borders Paldea, and they give us like Colosian forms of Paldean Pokemon, like Colosian Low Kicks. Here's Colosian, you know, what's Soul's favorite? Spidops. That's it. You know.
What? Yes, please. Also, I just want to say that with the Terra Leak information, we know that a South Kalos existed for X and Y. Like they had the whole thing. X and Y was supposed to be the entirety of France, and then they literally cut South Kalos. So like it exists somewhere in Game Freak's you know,
their mind.
Yeah, in their mind, but also like in their archives, you know, like they could just be like, oh, let's just,
you know, they even still this is kind of interesting too. Like, so for the anime episodes for X and Y, on the title screen, there's like it'll have the title, the Pokeball, and it's like sitting on a map of Kalos. And if you look really hard at that map of Kalos, it still has the dots where the towns from South Kalos are. So like even in the anime, like South Kalos kind of lived on.
Yeah.
I mean, they were planning it and then they cut it. So it's like, of course there's going to be remnants of it everywhere around. It's really fun.
Dark type Daedra, friend of the podcast, has just become a legendary tier member. Hope you're doing well, man. I was on the phone with you yesterday. We got to link up again, get you on the pod at some point and do a little bit of, you got a story for all of us. I think that you want to share. So we would love to get the inside scoop, a little bit of Legends Arceus leak history. That'd be a lot of fun. All right, guys. All right, we got maybe like 30 minutes left, 35, 40 minutes. There's some. I think it'd be fun to pull up our Pokemon Day presents and kind of like see what other people are predicting. Before that, I think it'd be fun to just spend 5 minutes or whatever. I wanted to discuss this. There's brand new lore surrounding Scovillain and the fact that it has new forms. This was broken to us through the anime Pokemon Horizons. So apparently Scovillain, the only thing that's been confirmed so far is that Scovillain has at least 3 differently colored forms, and they depend, and they kind of like that the form that the Scovillain is depends on the spiciness of the Pokemon. That's what was said in the anime episode. And there's basically the standard Scovillain, which is the only thing that we have access to in the game, which is red and green. We have one red head, one green head. But in the anime, they showcase that some Scovillain have 2 red heads or 2 green heads. And a lot of people were kind of speculating, well, who's to say there's not a yellow head or a purple head? And on the surface, that's just super fun, right? To think that, like, I don't know. I feel like the things that debut on the anime have to still be run by someone at Game Freak. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, for sure. The TeraLeak
Yeah.
really showed that too. That like
100%.
they'll like let the anime staff know, like, you cannot do this. Do this.
Yeah.
Don't, like, you know, like they very much control like how they want things depicted, especially, you know, like, especially Pokemon. Obviously that's like primary bread and butter. They really police that.
I think this
Yes,
is just so cool. I
agree.
mean, obviously you can't get this in the game, but it makes, I guess, you know, we learned a lot of information about Game Freak and the TeraLeak, but I'm thinking about all the stuff that we don't know about for Generation 9, right? For Generation 10, right? Like, what was Scovillain originally supposed to be a Pokemon like that stupid bird, Squawkabilly, right? Like, was Scovillain supposed to have a bunch
Stupid
of
bird. I was like, stupid
differently
bird.
colored forms that were just, you know, kind of arbitrary?
I would have preferred that to Squawkabilly.
I think so too. I think
Me
so
too.
too.
Especially because it would have been fun that like
New
imagine
types.
like if
Or-
Capsakid maybe like was impacted the way it evolves by like what you're feeding it with the sandwiches. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Sure.
putting a ton of pepper on it.
It's
so
gonna
my
be a-
Capsakid's probably gonna
That's
get 2
awesome!
redheads. You know?
That's
Yeah.
super cool. And I think with the way that Squawkabilly works, not all forms have different stats or different abilities, but Squawkabilly, I believe, has, I think there's a couple different colors, but I think half of them will have, there's
Yeah.
pretty much a 50-50 chance that you'll have a different stat distribution or a different ability. So that could have made Scovillain also a lot more dynamic in that way.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Something from the anime episode too was that throughout the episode you'll notice that the Scovillain, the green head, uses the grass moves and the red head uses the fire moves. And so you could hypothetically say, okay, well then 2 red-headed Scovillains would be a pure fire type. And 2 green-headed ones would be a pure grass type.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
Kind of sucks
If-
for them, but
yeah, that'd be a little more boring, but like that
it's
is
interesting because wasn't this our
lore.
first fire grass type?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was interesting in that sense, probably right away that they thought of. I agree. I think that like they definitely had the idea, because why else would it be pushed in the anime? Unless the anime creators had the idea and they okay if we do this in this show.
And there's
Most likely it's the other way around.
Yeah, and there's so many things in the anime that don't make it to the game, and that's fine,
Yes.
and we're used to that. But I think it's just notable that, like Lumi was saying, we kind of realized this current generation, Game Freak has been working closely, or at least has been in communication with the anime more closely to make sure things line up and don't overstep and kind of like match up in canon. And seeing a new Generation 9 Pokemon that was revealed to us like 2 years ago get additional lore like this is a lot of fun. I think it's fun.
I think too,
Yes.
it's bigger than what Pokemon's done before, because like anytime Pokemon's given us like an alternate form, the anime's given us an alternate form. Like the ones I immediately think of is like the Island Pink Pokemon, right? The Crystal Onyx, that kind of stuff. Like Orange Islands give us a ton of them, but with those, they made sure to make it clear this isn't about the Pokemon, this is about the environment. It's something with the environment that made Onyx this way or whatever. But with Scovillain, they like seem to be suggesting like this is a Scovillain thing. It's not the 2 redhead Scovillain can be found only in this part of the world. No, they're like a Capsakid, depending on its level of spiciness, will evolve into a certain Scovillain.
I love it. I think that we love these things though, just like because we don't have them. I feel like if this had happened in the game, we'd be like, this is dumb and lazy and everything. But if they had the purple head and the yellow head, then that would be more interesting to me. If it was just this, I'd be like, whatever. I mean, I kind of, when you compare it to like that they gave us, Squawkabillies or the Tandem Mouse. There was another one, not just Dunsparce, but there was one other one that's like really so redundant thing. But
people think Palafin is. It's a little different from the ones you're naming.
People being me.
But that's kind of
me.
Yeah, no, I agree. People is me too. Palafin's a good one actually. They could have not done it. They probably were like, we have too many repetitive that we don't need to do this.
Yeah, they could have cut the Palmy line. There's a lot of cuts.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say that.
Scovillain's cool. Like that would have been nice. Maybe this is the thing. Maybe a lot of people say Scovillain feels like a incomplete Pokemon. Like it really could use a new evolution. And I don't know. I do feel like maybe what they're potentially doing is saving that little form gimmick for the final evolution.
Yeah, or just making the final evolution like a bunch of heads with a bunch of different colors, kind of thing. Like that.
True.
Or they want to
really cool.
regional format, right? Like go, okay, well, Gentinian Scovillain here, or it's got a yellow head instead of the green one, so now it's fire electric or whatever.
Yeah,
Gentinian.
But anyways, I wanted to bring this up. I thought this was super cool. This did break for me on the SoulSilverArt Twitter page, so that was cool. That was super cool to see. I had to get
when I saw it, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, people will love this, I think.
Oh, no, it's super cool, man. It's super cool.
It's funny, though, because we just had, like chunky or thick Lycanroc, a couple
the chubby Lycanroc.
Yeah, it was just, and now it's, totally skinny again. It went on Ozempic or something. But, literally... 2 episodes ago, Dusty, there was, one of the guys has a Rockruff, and he evolved, and it evolved into, this thick Lycanroc.
I never saw this.
Yeah, it wasn't as aesthetically pleasing, maybe, I don't know, but it was cute.
Some people liked it. Yeah,
it was cute, and a lot of people liked it. And then 2 episodes later, no, I think the episode after, it comes back and it's completely a normal Lycanroc.
I think it was 2 episodes or so. It was, but yeah, they do stuff like that. I mean, you figure every once in a while they'll show like I think about a lot of the time. Like when Ash would get to a league, he and Pikachu would stuff themselves at the banquet, and then
you got to do that. You got to carb load.
Pikachu would be really chubby or whatever.
Yeah,
and then the very next scene he's normal.
It's weird because it wasn't like that though, unless it had just eaten or something.
I wish I gained a new type when I downed a bunch of Alfredo Rigatoni or something. That would be sick.
I wish I could lose that weight like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's just boom.
Coronet Highlander.
Okay, next scene.
Coronet Highlander just hit us with a big super chat. They say, my number one source for all things Pokemon moved my membership from Patreon to YouTube this month. I cannot wait to tune in and watch the presents with you guys all later this month. Keep up all the great work. Thank you so much, man, for all your continued support. Yeah, bro. Appreciate it. You guys you're keeping this show alive. Well, listen, we're alive, but you're helping us grow. You're helping us produce stuff and not have to worry about the bill so much.
Well, I mean, you are helping keep us alive too. We've maintained a point where we have editors, we have a staff that we're having to pay. So you are helping keep the show alive too.
That is true.
More than anything, the words are so nice though too. It means a lot to us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So nice.
All right. So we got a little bit more time. And we did a big episode. About the Pokemon Presents, all of our predictions. We put out this bingo. Why am I failing to know what a bingo
board?
Bingo board? Bingo
card.
sheet? Bingo card?
Board, card, sheet. I think anything works.
But it's not a bin. It's a bingo.
It's not a bin.
It's a bingo. These were all of our predictions. We put it in this cute little format. Lumi did this. And you guys sent us a bunch of your own, predictions. So we're going to read a little bit of this. But I also kind of want to.
Soul already hates something.
Keep going. But I guess I also just want to bring up I had some of the best ideas on last week's episode, specifically for Pokemon Champions. I kind of almost just want to just like put a little bow tie on that conversation, I still feel like everyone missed my point. I feel like Pokemon Champions is gonna be for VGC, but making all Pokemon available for free play is not really, like, that is irrelevant to VGC because VGC already sets limitations for what people can use in VGC for whatever format is existing. So the number one rebuttal I saw in the comments was, other than I shouldn't be on the show, is that like it's that I don't understand VGC. Dusty doesn't understand competitive, and I'm like, I do. I don't think you guys. I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like people, like VGC is like what 5% of the player base. Like what are we talking about? What are we
it's
talking
probably
about?
more these days.
No,
it's probably more.
It probably
days.
is more.
No.
Well, not only is it not more, but it is something that
more
they're seeing a
YouTubers.
lot of. But that's the thing is they are seeing something. It is something where they're seeing a lot of growth in it. You know, like Wolf Glick, kind of stemming from that and becoming a huge influencer and kind of just in the Scarlet and Violet era, VGC's grown so much. So it's not that like, oh, it's a huge amount of the fan base, but it is a part of the fan base that they know is growing exponentially, and has the opportunity to, grow even further if they put the right investment into it.
I put out a tweet yesterday, like just about Champions a little bit, and I was like, it was just that they finally made a mobile game that I actually want to play. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, that is literally their whole like scheme or their plan. It would get casuals to play it on mobile. Like you will get, it's a gateway, a door to VGC if you start playing it on mobile. Like I was like, yeah, I could do a couple battles a day, probably. Like just on my
but are you going to be battling? Are you going to be going to like tournaments?
Probably not. But it's still
then it doesn't matter.
Then that's not. It does though, because people will watch the tournaments more. People might go to the tournaments to spectate. You know what I mean? Like the hype around it all gets a lot more. It's not like not all of us are professional football players. You know what I mean? So there's people that it just as more hype that they get around the game. Is good
it's what TCG Pocket was for the TCG too, right? Like what you said earlier in the episode, it's a gateway.
But I don't.
It's something that I think will get people
just
interested.
A gateway. My point earlier in the episode was it's not just a gateway. There's people who only play TCG Pocket now. They play. Maybe they buy a couple more packs physically. They're more aware of it, but I haven't bought any new cards. I just play TCG Pocket. It's like that's the main thing. And my point is, Champions also needs to be a standalone thing that does something separate from Scarlet and Violet, separate from Generation 10. Because right now you could argue the same thing. You could say Generation 10 is a gateway for VGC because you could play VGC in Generation 10. But I don't think that's enough for them to put
we all know that.
But Generation 9, right? So that's my
9.
point. My point is, everyone thinks they're big-brained. Not you guys. There's I saw a lot of negativity. Everyone thought they were so big-brained with like, well, Dusty doesn't understand VGC, but VGC is so small. And sure, they might want to grow it, but that's not that VGC is not driving the money, right?
Yeah. Agreed.
And also, I got to bring one other thing up, and then we can move on to the predictions. I didn't say this loud enough. Maybe I should have whispered it, but I didn't say this loud enough. Like every single Pokemon for Champions is already created. Every single Pokemon, the model exists, the way it functions in the game exists. Everything already exists, right? There's no reason for them not to drop it. We were talking about Pokemon Unite.
I think it depends on the engine, actually.
No, it's all there. It's all there.
Like especially like
it's
if
all
they're
data.
using
It's
Scarlet
math.
and Violet. But if they're like Scarlet and Violet change the textures of the Pokemon versus even Legends Arceus and Sword and Shield. And so like hypothetically, like we know Aegislash is a Pokemon too on Champions, and it's not in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So there is not a Scarlet and Violet model for Aegislash that exists because they changed like the way Pokemon look in that game.
Yeah.
I don't know because
well.
I'm not a game developer, so I cannot really speak to this. But to me, a simple man, I kind of agree with Dusty. I think that I agree with Dusty in the sense that I think that the models are. It depends, like what you're talking about. They might put like a new. I think they have to put like a not a skin, but you know what I mean?
Like a gloss over it or something. Sure.
I'm trying to think of what the right word is. There's a word. But they put it over the model. Like some of the models, at least if not all of them are created, Dusty, a good portion of them are created.
But I still think that the way they function already exists. So my main point.
I do want to say
that too, though. You know,
they could be doing like new animations for everything. As well.
That's
like, they could be doing way more.
Listen, I would love that.
But I would love that so much.
Yeah, that's something. That's another thing too. Is since it's like kind of been presented as like Battle Revolution Stadium successor, those games. One thing that like people loved about it was that if I clicked Mega Punch, my Pokemon didn't like go like this, and then you see like an animated fist fly across the screen. No, like my Pokemon ran up to the other Pokemon and decked him right in the jaw.
That would be cool. You know, that would be cool.
Maybe they'll add things like that.
We also have to like deal with the fact that they could gatekeep it. Like they could have everything ready, and they could gatekeep it just because they want.
They could, yes.
They want to make a way to make money because we still are like, how are they going to make money with this thing? I still just would buy it one time and that'd be incredible, but you know.
My point though was that like you're right, they could do that. The reason why I was getting so excited last week was the fact that like I hadn't considered that they would just not release yes, not everything is available on launch. That doesn't mean not everything was going to be available in 3 years, you know, like I hope things ramp up to the point where I can get everything pretty quickly. Otherwise, this is the bow. Pokemon Champions needs to do something that I cannot currently do in Scarlet and Violet, right? It needs to do something else. Otherwise, it's literally a lesser game than Scarlet and Violet. Terrastal. Sure, but that's still limited, I think.
Yeah.
That's still super limited.
Well, that's the thing, too, is, you know, we know,
and that's frustration at Game Freak.
So little.
That's frustrating at Game Freak, just for the record.
For sure.
I feel like a lot of people.
Works.
Yeah.
That's something too. Is that like I think just Champions is just so hard to measure because we have such limited knowledge of it, and then conversely, there's unlimited potential for it.
They're really. I watched a video like today. This morning about like all these things that people want in Champions, and I was like, this could be the best game ever. It could just be like the best game. The potential is like to the moon potential.
Right.
That's crazy.
It'll go here, you know?
At the same time,
will never
you have to think about Game Freak and be like, yo, this could be the worst game ever. This could be like literally people are expecting Showdown. People are literally expecting Showdown, and I am like, I don't think this is gonna be Showdown, not on launch. Not on launch, so I don't know.
I've even seen people say like, "Oh, you know, I want there to be like the formats in Showdown. Like, oh, I want there to be an OU tier and a U." And it's like they're not going to do that because that's not them. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They're definitely not going to do that.
Right.
I don't know. Who knows? We don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. And also another fun reminder. Ilka is working on this game.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is fine. Which is fine. It's going to be a battle simulator. And I stand by it. Champions can never be the greatest Pokemon game because it doesn't have a campaign. It's not an RPG. That's what makes Pokemon awesome. Like it's actually
that's a whole other conversation.
So, anyways, on that. Just wanted to button that up. I feel like a lot of people were just I was screaming, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just did not want to listen to what I was saying. Champions needs to do something different. That's my main thesis. And if it doesn't, then it's a stupid game. It's irrelevant.
If we don't get any information on it and this presents, then it's a stupid game. I'd be so upset if we don't get any information on it. Like they don't even acknowledge it exists.
Yeah. All right.
I'd be so mad.
All right. New Pokemon Presents is going to be for July 22nd, 2025. And we got a ton of predictions here. We talked about all these in our video last week. Let's see what some of the comments
I actually don't think we did.
We talked about a bunch of these.
A bunch of them, sure. I don't think we hit those specific ones.
Did we not hit every single one?
No,
we didn't do like a breakdown of this thing, which I don't know if you want. We'll do this live right here. I don't know if you want to save this for another time.
We don't have time.
Yeah, save this for another time, and then we just check out everyone.
I just wanted to read some comments.
That sounds.
All right, Jay Wants to Battle says, I'm going to say the unexpected and hope we get an official announcement for the Red and Blue live-action Netflix series they're working on. That's pretty cool. I honestly forgot about that.
I literally, I don't know if you put it on yours, Lumi. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like,
no, you're good.
I literally was thinking about how we didn't mention the like Wallace and Gromit like claymation thing that's coming
When's
in
that coming out?
2026. In 2026.
I thought it was 2027.
Oh, you might be right. You might be right. Either way, I was just saying like
they could
they're
have
hyping this thing up. They could bring up something. We just completely glossed over like the shows. Like we did not even think about like all these shows that they have going.
About the games.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anyway,
that's true. That is something else that's on the docket. I feel like they're working on
it. It is 2027.
Yeah, when you said it clicked with me too. That's why I'm like, yeah.
I feel like that, and honestly, even the Red and Blue live action Netflix series. I feel like anything like that feels, especially the Red and Blue live action series, that feels so celebratory. I feel like that has to be a Pokemon Day 2026 announcement. Like, I don't know. I feel like it would hit a lot harder if they gave us news on that, on Pokemon Day versus a July Presents. Like, I think about how, like, for Mario's anniversary, that was when they were like, oh, we're doing a Mario movie. Here's, the cast. Which maybe that's something, too. Is Red going to be played by Chris Pratt? What do we think?
I'm down, I guess.
P1 Polyrath.
He voices Pikachu.
He hit us with a $5 super chat. P1 Polyrath. He says, here's a question. If all gimmicks are available, does that mean Pokemon that weren't in Scarlet and Violet can terrestrialize, or new Pokemon be able to do Z moves?
That's such a good
question. I would
question.
think so.
That's pretty.
It'd be weird if it was like, you can, like, again, Aegislash is going to be the example I keep using because it's like the one new one. Like, it'd be weird if it was like, I throw out an Aegislash, you can't terrestrial that. It's like, oh, well, thanks, I guess.
I think yes for Terra. I think Z moves presents a problem for them with that, maybe.
Yeah.
I would think Terra presents more of a problem than Z moves, because Z moves at the end of the day, it's like a power up move. Now, but with Z moves, they will have to take, because there's we think of Z moves as like the physical damaging moves, but then like you can use a Z move to do like Z Splash, for example, which will raise your attack 3 stats. And so they would have to look at every move that's non-damaging since Generation 7 and give it a Z version, hypothetically.
Yeah.
I was saying more not on the actual side of the mechanics. I was saying on the side of the assets that they would have to create to make them available. So like I'm trying to remember Z moves. I did not. So
Twinkle Tackle.
No, Z moves literally the Pokemon model would just be like the center of whatever animation was happening. They wouldn't have to do
so maybe
it.
uses Twinkle Tackle. It doesn't show it like run. It like literally the stagnant model's just kind of hovering around.
Posing. Yeah.
I mean, see, they could just leave that and put that into the game, and I'd be okay with that because I want Ultra Necrozma back. But other people probably wouldn't. Then Terrastol, they actually have to like put the gem stuff all over the Pokemon.
But I don't
know if it's just a thing that they put on top
of the
model.
It's just a
there you go. That's a texture.
texture.
That's what the word I was looking for. If it is, then that's good.
They're not individually going in to do any of that. No, it's all just.
My question is, can I Dynamax my Mega Charizard and then Terrastol him? The answer is probably no.
No. Please, they will go crazy if they
Dynamax Mega Charizard, then terrestrialize it into a Dragon type, and then use the Dragon Z move.
That's insanity. But Dynamax would be really easy to
Dynamax is the same thing where the Pokemon just gets bigger and there's a perspective shift.
Literally the
there's like an
same
aura
model. Yeah.
And there's like
Y'all just reminded me that I literally had last night that they gave us a trailer that announced Dynamax for Champions.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
I don't. Yeah, they got to do something big to actually win over the casuals.
I see what you mean. Big. That was a good one, Dusty.
That wasn't a joke. That was. I swear to God, that wasn't a joke.
I get it. I get it.
Pokemon Gen 10 obviously is going to be in the next Pokemon Presents. That would mark around 9 months before the Gen 10 release date, which has been the case for previous core games.
I think that's under the assumption that the Gen 10 release date is February, I guess. But
yeah, I don't know why that's a assumption. I totally disagree with this.
Maybe this is sarcastic.
Interesting suggestion. Yeah, I don't know.
When I read obviously, I actually kind of always read it as like sarcastic. Like, Gen 10, obviously.
Sure.
I saw a tweet today that was like serious about Gen 10 happening from like a big account in this presents.
Yeah.
Like the reveal, and I was like, "There's just no way." And I tried to think, how could there be a way? And the only thing that I can possibly think of is that, and this is, I don't believe that this is true, but the only way I could ever see it happening is if they like somehow want to get ahead of the like Gen 10 Terra Leak leaks. Do you know what I mean? Like they want to be like,
there's so much on the line.
It's going to leak.
I also don't. I also wonder
but,
how much the leaks really matter. Like, how much do casual people even know?
Yes,
like we pay attention to this stuff.
Like I said, I don't believe it. I'm just trying to think of like the only way that they would move it up.
The thing I always think of is one time someone asked the Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige what he thought about leaks and like for his movies, because those movies leak, and he like said, I actually don't mind them, because he's like, because if you want to know leaks, you will seek them out, and those things will actually make you enjoy the movie more. Yeah. And if you don't want to know them, you won't look at them and enjoy the movie more. And I think that's the thing, is like, we were talking about what percentage of the fan base is VGC. What percentage of the fan base looks at, leaks? Because especially you have to think a large amount of people who are buying these games are children, are like little 7-year-old children who have no idea how to, like even find, like they can't even begin to find Pokemon leaks. You know what I mean?
My niece, I still haven't uttered the word Switch 2 or game chat around her, because I don't want to like, ruin
start something.
my sister-in-law's Christmas. They're going to have to buy a new Switch 2 unit for all the kids. They don't know anything. They don't have the internet.
I've only heard it that, they just care about what money is taken away from them, and I don't think I don't think a big enough leak, the only big enough leak would be if like a playable version was out, I think. And that's the only thing. Anyway, I was just trying to rationalize.
No, I get it. I totally get it.
How can this happen?
I don't subscribe to the idea that Gen 10's coming out in February. I just think
honestly
they've had a pattern, and it's done super well the last 2 generations. Gen 10 could be the first one to surpass,
I feel like if they tried to, Nintendo would shut them down. Like if they were like, we want to drop this in February, Nintendo would be like, no, generation game? No, buddy, you're putting that in November.
I agree with what you guys are saying, but I'm also thinking, what if it still just came out in November, but they still announced it now, and it's like a new model that they're trying to do for Pokemon in general, because they literally did the same thing over a year time for them to, you know what I mean? So like, what if it's like some new model that they're trying, which is a stupid one, I'd say. But I don't know. I was just trying to rationalize it.
I get you.
I'd be upset if they revealed it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I would be
too.
Upset.
I would too, because I would not want to know it and wait that long. Okay.
Well, and my thing is like I think that would, I mean, look, obviously I'm like biased towards Kalos and all, right? But like I would be upset about it because, you've got this Kalos game coming out. You did Kalos dirty before. You shot it in the foot. You didn't give it its third version, sequel version, whatever. You didn't do that. And then now you've got another one coming out. And just when you start getting into like the real hype cycle for it, like where you're going hard, like you're going to reveal new megas and all this, you go, so there's the ZA trailer. Also, here's the next game, which now is going to make you all looking at this and not really care about this anymore.
Yeah. I just read what Jake said, and that actually makes a little bit more sense. He said they could do that, tell people to buy the Switch too early for the next gen Pokemon in November.
I do think interesting. And for the record, I have that on our predictions list. If you scroll up our predictions list, I put Gen 10 mentioned. Like, I think they might acknowledge, like, hey, we are working
the existence
on our next
of a
Pokemon
next gen game. There's not
for
a trailer.
The Nintendo Switch 2.
There's no trailer, just for clarity.
Right. We were talking about like a reveal, which is different from a mention. Right. I think a mention would make sense. I think if there was a world where they would reveal it, though, that does make sense what Jake said, because they know that people are not going to be incentivized to buy the Switch 2. I mean, that would incentivize them, essentially. Because you'd be like, oh, the next thing is the next generation's coming out only on the Switch 2, so you better buy it, It makes a lot of sense to me.
Damn. Yeah, man. My brain is malleable. You guys say this. Jake leaves a comment. You guys talk about it for a minute. And now I can see it so clearly in my mind. I can see
I don't think
Lily.
though.
I think the mention is the
like,
most possible thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they've done it. They've done it before too with
Yeah.
what was the game? Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. They did say
Sword
we
and
have a
Shield?
game next year coming out for the Nintendo Switch, and that ended up being Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And then with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee,
Oh,
they said
what
we
a
are
dark
currently
time.
we know this game's different. We are currently working on our next more traditional Pokemon game for the
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch. You know,
Here-
so I can see that.
I can see it, and I'm starting to see it clearly too, Dusty. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because they did all of that as well. I was gonna
It
say
makes
something
sense
else.
to do it, right? Go ahead and prep your audience. Because another thing too is you don't want like the release of a Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Look, sometimes buyers are stupid, and you don't want to confuse your buyer that like this is the formula. Hey, you can just get the Nintendo Switch version, not the Nintendo Switch 2 version.
Right.
You kind of want to prep them that like next
listen,
game ain't Nintendo Switch version. It's Nintendo Switch 2.
I'm confused every single time I go to Home Depot to start a new project. I literally bought to save $20. I bought locks for my doors separately, installed them all, and then realized, gosh darn it, now I have 5 different keys. So I went back to the store, bought a bundle pack where every door will share a key. So stupid. Buyers are stupid. I need it spelled out.
You
for me.
need to assume that your buyer will not know like
Yeah.
what's going on. You need to assume that you're going to have to like
Yeah.
walk them through it.
And
know?
that
Also,
never
the
would have happened
reason-
if I went to Lowe's, right? Lowe's helps you get stuff done.
Not a
it's
Home
the
Depot
same reason
ad
that
read.
You think
Pokemon
it-
Presents
we
will be
build
like,
Lowe's ad read.
this is a Pokeball. A Pokeball is a device used to catch Pokemon. Like we know
Dude, I
that,
need
but they
that.
have to do that, you know?
stuff, yeah. I will say, I need to say just this. It makes so much more sense because I'm just trying to figure out why they told us 2 months in advance that there's a Pokemon Presents and why
Yeah.
it's like it's been hyped up to me that this is an important Presents. Like why else? That makes that would make sense to me
Yeah.
if they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we're gonna mention the next generation is gonna be on Switch 2 so that people can buy the Switch 2 and get ready.
Yeah.
Uh,
It makes sense to do. Like I said, I put it on our predictions thing, man. I also like
you
how
said
I don't.
hour. I'm down.
Yeah, I don't,
Since it's hours.
I don't like consult y'all on our predictions. I
Yes,
drop
but
them, and there are predictions, and we all
Agreed.
share them now. I speak for all of us.
It's mine now.
Michael Roth says, most unexpected prediction, Pokemon Champions gets shadow dropped immediately following the presents. I wouldn't even be surprised.
I'm
I
gonna say no to
wouldn't
that
be
one.
floored, but I would be surprised.
Because think about it. Now you have a new game on your Switch too, a new Pokemon game on Switch too. Think about it.
I mean,
My
I would
big thing is,
buy it that day.
I really,
I don't
feel
think
like
you're gonna
they'll
buy it.
want
I
us-
think I think it's a free download.
I really
I mean,
feel
the
like
Switch
they'd
too.
want us
Oh,
to
sure,
play
yeah.
with Megas first on ZA. So like that's my biggest point for like I think Champions
Yeah.
would release after ZA. And another thing too is like since Champions is gonna have Megas, it's obviously going to have the new Megas from ZA. And so it's like, are they going to, and maybe they would, are they going to drop it with the current Megas and then just update it after ZA to give us the new ones? Maybe they would do that. But I feel like it'd just make more sense to let's just make them play with new and old Megas for the first time in years
Yeah.
on Legends EA, and then later we'll give them Champions to be able to experience those Megas again in the traditional style of battling.
Damn.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was very unlikely. I think a Gen 10 mention is more likely.
Wow. I do think we'll get a release date for Champions, though.
Yeah, either then or at Worlds, I think.
Or a release window, at least. You know, like if they just said, like, you know, winter 2025 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty thinks ports are here. Should be a free space. That's fair. Listen, we'll talk to the bingo keeper.
My favorite thing was when I put that on day predictions, and sure enough, when they gave us that Champions trailer and it was showing the like past games, Dusty goes ports. I was like, yes.
Oh, Jake's. I don't know if Jake's making commentary or if this is a joke. The parentheses are throwing me off. There is actually no Switch 2 version of Champions confirmed. Only a backwards compatible Switch game.
That's true.
True.
That's true.
Let's go to the website. I think he's right.
Yeah, it just says it's for
think
Switch
so.
and mobile, because at the time that they dropped it, Like
Switch
that they
was-
revealed.
I think I
it.
just
Yeah, the
assumed.
Switch 2 had just been revealed, and like
Yeah.
new games for it had been
It's just
officially
like-
revealed.
It says consoles or something like all multiple consoles
Let's
or whatever.
see.
You know, like Nintendo consoles, something like that. If I remember correctly. I don't even know if it'll be on the website.
You know,
Just
they
like
gave it its own website, and I feel like that might be kind of maybe I'm
Maybe
on
what?
Helium, you know?
Yeah,
That
now
they
it,
gave it its own website.
now in development, Nintendo Switch and iOS and Android.
Mhm.
All right, well, maybe that's a reveal in itself. That champion. That's hilarious. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's backwards compatible, so it
Yeah.
will be on
I
Switch too.
I would not be surprised though if they're like, hey, we like made it to run a lot better on the Switch 2, because at the time they revealed this, and at the time they revealed this, the Switch 2 had been revealed, but they had not yet given us the big direct on it, and they hadn't like officially revealed any new games for it. Like we knew a new Mario Kart was coming because it was a reveal trailer. Like people were calling it Mario Kart 9 when it was actually Mario Kart World.
right.
You know, I'm looking at
Makes
these characters, and I really am just thinking to myself, like, I guess it would make sense. You select one of these player characters, and there is some sort of like campaign that you go through. I think Lumi has suggested this, where it's like you do a series of battles, a series of tournaments. You become
You
a
just won't be
champion.
traveling.
Yeah, exactly. You won't actually be exploring like a
Right.
a world, but you'll still there'll be a campaign, and these will be the main characters. I could see that very clearly.
Well, and it's fun too, because like, okay, so you know, if there's 5 stadiums that you have to work through or whatever for the campaign, like, okay, well now that you've beaten the second stadium, you've unlocked that stadium like as a battleground, like to where now you can use that stadium like when you're battling your friends. So like, you know, Dusty, you just beat the second stadium in your own campaign. Well, now when you battle Bedford's Best, you'll be able to select that second stadium as your battle backdrop.
Yeah. I just need more stuff to, flex with. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
If there isn't anything Pokemon Mystery Dungeon related, I shall cry a silent cry. Swampert, real. We'll be crying with you.
Real.
Not me.
Swampert real. That kills me. That's the real Swampert, guys.
Real Swampert.
The
That's
official Twitter account of Swampert.
I don't know what else.
What do you mean you don't have Pokepark 3 or Pokemon Conquest Remake in your bingo?
Dang, Pokemon Conquest would be pretty epic. I need to play
That was a
game.
partnership, right? Like that was like there's another game, and basically they merged Pokemon in that game to create it, right?
Fire Emblem. But it wasn't actually Fire Emblem. It was like it was another type or another game, but it was the Fire Emblem like style.
Yeah, I thought like they actually merged it with like another video game franchise or something.
They did. I'm trying to.
Yes, it's Nobunaga's Ambition.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Let's see.
Because in Japan, it's actually not called Pokemon Conquest. It's called Pokemon plus Nobunaga's Ambition.
It's literally like.
C-Roy is predicting Shiny Ruinous Quartet distribution.
I wish.
Yeah, I put that on there as well. I could really see that. We got to be coming up on that, right? Like that's got to be soon. Now they might drop it because this is what they did for, I believe the birds, the Galarian birds, and I believe also the Tapus, the shiny Tapus. But they do those monthly global challenges, and it's like participate in 3 battles. You'll get a shiny Chi-Yu, and then the next month Chien-Pao, next month Ting-Lu, whatever.
Yeah.
Down.
I always
Down
see
for sure.
people saying that they want to play Pokemon Conquest or they want a remake or something, but I don't think anyone has ever played this game.
I have not played it, but the thing is, it's Pokemon plus like a Fire Emblem style game, and I already know that that's my poison. Like that's it for me because I love Fire Emblem, and if it plays like that, then I'm already in. It doesn't even need to be Pokemon, but Pokemon on top of it.
It looks like it never broke 400,000 units sold.
Yeah.
And I wonder where that falls against other Pokemon games. That is kind of cool though. If it really is just another a game like Fire Emblem, that actually I feel like I don't know if it'd be popular. I don't really know if those are popular games still.
They're not as popular, yeah, for sure.
But that is kind of fun. That's kind of fun. King Nito has been a member for 5 months right here on YouTube. They go
Thank you.
Battle Frontier and Pokemon World Tournament campaign modes and champions that help with certain unlockables. Could add more modes with future updates in gens. Wow, that is cool to think that, like, that's fun. In the campaign or in the free play, the offline play, right? That's so true. You need something to do. And it would be awesome to be able to battle all other champions, all other Elite Four members, rival characters, main characters. That would be super fun. Basically,
that's why
Pokemon,
we're talking about this potential, man. The potential.
Yeah, that's big potential. That is big. That is super fun. That's like Pokemon Masters EX.
We're talking about the Ruinous Quartet and all. What if that's how they did it? Like, they're like, hey, I'm Pokemon Champions. Like, play it.
Ooh.
And you can get into your home a shiny Chimpao.
Oh, it would be so awesome if they did events on Pokemon Champions, too.
Because, like, with Home, it was by being on Pokemon Home that you were able to get the Gigantamax Factor Melmetal.
Yeah.
So,
I only need one thing for Champions to be successful or satisfying to me. I was gonna say successful, but it's not really successful. And that is, I need just singles battles. I need a single.
Well, listen, according to the comments, that's irrelevant.
If it wasn't there,
if it's just
according
doubles,
to the comments,
I will throw
we're
it away.
only getting doubles for VGC. That's the only thing that matters for champions. Listen, the
I will
comments
be
are right.
floored.
The comments are right. VGC is the only thing that matters. We're not getting singles, Soul. Sorry.
I will take the
floored.
digital.
That's all. It's all
immaterial
anyone
copy
wants, dude.
and just throw it.
That's all anyone
I want
wants.
Singles, bro. I want singles. I don't want freaking doubles at all.
I would hire someone to make me to 3D print a physical version of Pokemon Champions just so I could stomp it on the ground.
Well, that's the thing is, like, okay, you've coded doubles. Like, you'd think it'd be pretty easy to just at that point make a mode where there's only one of these here.
Yeah.
You know, like it seems like it'd be easy.
At least, also,
I guarantee
like
singles will be there.
online.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, I need, but like online playable singles though too, not just like fun singles mode that you can do against this CPU whatever. For me that'd be fun for sure, but I'd love to play singles in general, like a competitive singles.
I am nearly certain it'll be there. If there's a campaign, I would not be surprised though if they lock it to doubles, because like kind of similar to like what was it? Why am I
Blueberry
blanking
Academy.
on? Yeah, Blueberry Academy was like all double battles, and
which I did like that because you could use whatever you wanted. But then when you bring it into like a competitive context, then you're like, I can only use these meta Pokemon that I don't want to use.
Right, like
that's my problem with doubles.
I don't mind being forced to play doubles through the story, but like if I'm just battling you, Soul, I want to be able to do what battle we want to do. You know, let's click singles. You know,
exactly.
Triple in rotation, dude. If they put those in, man,
yeah, that'd be incredible. That'd be incredible. But I don't think that's gonna happen day one.
Singles will be available on launch, no question. No question.
But see, triple in rotation. That's like again where we get into just the potential of this game. Imagine triple in rotation there at launch, but when we get those Unova remakes, they drop it.
Yeah, it'd be incredible. I love the potential. That's for sure. Then I think about Ilka.
No, dude. Singles the game's gonna have to do with singles. It's gonna be great. I really think they only showed doubles battles, because they're demonstrating more dynamic gameplay. Right now, you can have 4 Pokemon on the field, 4 different sources, 4 different games, 4 different battle styles, all on the field at once. It's like that's why VGC is the main format. It's that it's like more visually stimulating. Singles, though,
like moves that literally don't work in singles. Like Helping Hand is irrelevant in singles.
Singles is the best way to play Pokemon. Just putting it out there. I'm looking at you, level 99 Pidgey. Singles is better than VGC.
I enjoy 100%. Singles more, but I do see the appeal of the doubles as well. Like it is. I think I enjoy watching doubles more.
Doubles would be cool. We should do a whole podcast on this a little. It's just.
We gotta get some experts on.
We gotta get Zingdra on, man.
Yeah. Doubles would be cool if you could use all 6 of your Pokemon. That's one thing that I really hate, picking 4 out of all of them or whatever.
That is part of the strategy, though. Like, but yeah.
I know why it works that way. It makes me so upset. Is the problem? I'm like, I don't want this. And then oh dang, I forgot my second point. But like literally just being able to use the Pokemon you want instead of like just this same meta Pokemon, which you do in singles too, but it's just there's so much more. You know?
It is easier to make any Pokemon work in singles than it is in doubles. Like that is. If you're denying that, then I'm sorry. You are.
Well, you just,
singles.
Your mic just cut out when you said that, so no one heard it. So that's
you
good.
are wrong.
Okay.
There you go.
I was gonna say no one heard your
or
diss.
something. Yeah.
No one heard his diss.
Didn't want anyone to hear the truth.
Frisco, thank you for the super chat. Frisco says, "I'm so old I can't even do a super chat right because they sent the super chat and then they sent a message."
Okay, cool.
He said what I was gonna
Totally
say was, I hope you all had a good holiday, dude. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to end soon. My voice is dying. Lumi, can you read this? Do you have
What
it up
I was
there?
gonna say was, hope y'all had a good holiday. Been out of the Pokemon loop due to Marvel Rivals. I know 1 month after PLA they revealed the Gen 9 starters. Why can't they do the Gen 10? After its release, anything's game.
Yeah,
but at
after-
that point, like, why wouldn't you wait till February? You know what I mean? 1 month after ZA's release is November. So 3 months and we get it.
Yes, I
For
agree.
real. Thank you, man. Thank you for the support.
Yes, thank you.
Dude, yeah, Jake says, oh, dude, it sucks that, yeah, he says, cries in ZA battle system that we will only ever see one time ever. Imagine you can play that in Champions. Imagine
dude, that's such a game
you can play that in
freak thing to do.
Champions.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I
But-
could easily see a mode. Like, the thing I keep
Damn.
preaching is a mode in Gen 10 that is these types of battles, kind of like Starfall Street is like the Let's Go battles,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I can't see that. I could see more so that whatever the next Legends game has it. So it's not like we won't ever see it again. But I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just it'll be like 4 Legends games and that's it. And like you
Sure.
won't see it in any kind of competitive, maybe a competitive circuit. But if it's
I mean, I
popular
feel
enough-
like the next step is to do player versus player for it. Like, if it's not in ZA, you got to do Legends, Johto,
right,
whatever's
right,
next.
right. I agree.
Legends Indigo
Yes.
is next.
That is like the big thing, you know, where you're like, oh, what could they do next? They made a new catching mechanic. They made a new battling mechanic. Make it all multiplayer.
Yeah.
online.
Make me able to
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah.
Guys, we are over time. This has been so much fun. It's really great to see you guys. It's been great to hang out on this Monday morning. Yeah, thank you for all the super chats. I'm excited for the Pokemon Presents. We're recording new content tomorrow. I don't think we talked about it, but I think we're gonna do a little bonus exclusive stream on Twitch tomorrow before we record our episode. So that'll be in the morning tomorrow. I think, guys, we're doing that right.
I mean,
I
we
can.
certainly can.
Yeah, let's do so we will be over on Twitch. We're live streaming to Twitch right now. If you're watching on Twitch, or if you're not, if you're watching on YouTube, we're trying to get our numbers up on Twitch. So other people on Twitch come hang out with us who don't know about Hidden Power yet. So we're doing some exclusive streams just on Twitch. And
So come out and support us.
But
Yeah, so-
for the record, make sure you're following our like little bonus channel, Hidden Power Clips.
Yeah.
Because I have been uploading. In fact, there's already a new one out today. Clips from our Twitch stream. So if you're not able to make it or whatever, just like, I don't know, for some kind of reason, adamantly against Twitch, find the
Some
clips
people are.
on Hidden Power Clips.
I'm dying, guys.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
I'll even drop a link to that
It's okay,
in the
you're
dying.
in the chat.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. Links are in the description if you want to support the show. Patreon, YouTube, $5. You get so much free additional content. You can join the Discord. You get so much stuff, And we're gonna be doing a call-in show. Yeah, we're doing the call-in. I feel like we've just agreed that we're doing the call-in show, right? So, Next week, get in the
July
Discord.
15th.
Become a Patreon, become a YouTube channel member. It'll be first come, first serve. Once you get in, the details will be in there. Our mods will tell you when that is all happening, and you can get in there, get in line, and you can be on the show. And we're going to do that before the Pokemon Presents. We're going to do that after the Pokemon Presents, and we love you guys. Thank you for the support.
Yes.
Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the a lot of our videos have been picking up traction this last week. I think there's an excitement in the air for the Pokemon Presents. So we appreciate all of you guys. We appreciate everyone for being here, for watching. We literally have had over 300 people watching this live. So much fun. Thank you guys.
Beautiful people.
Yeah, and we'll
Thank
see
you.
you. We'll see a new episode on Thursday. We might even do another HP live this week. Who knows?
We're getting wild.
Yeah, we're getting wild.
We're
We're getting wild. All the links are in the description. We'll see you guys. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Just giving a little bit of buffer for because I'm going to end the stream.
Yeah, that's right.
We just
YouTube's
stand
still
there.
here.
I'm so sick. I thought I was not